Dawn of the Infinite's finale.
Now, this is all quite cool and interesting, because a lot of people... what I did notice is, I was going to say a few of the usual suspects on Twitter. I should more say the people who are generally more active in the World of Warcraft online Twitter sphere and have many discussions there. There's a lot of people being like, what the f*** have you done? I am out of this. Because, and it's the thing, right? When I read this, I can see everything. That sounds so self-aggrandizing. Okay, when I look at it, the thing that I see is all the things that they're evidently setting up in the very, near to mid to far term.
Yep.
When a lot of other people saw it, they're like, why does Nozdormu think this is all fine? Oh dear, Blizzard have just destroyed all of this lore and put it in a box forever.
We'll talk about that.
I think it's significantly less that and significantly more that a whole bunch of things are being set up, because to me, it's just so extremely obvious. I think the one thing that we can say, though, is, I don't want to say universally good, but Iridikron is an absurdly superior Zoval. It's hilarious. Even though...
Very with an asterisk.
Yes. Even though, like, both of them in the middle patch of the expansion do the whole turn around from the player and walk into a portal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird that it happened twice.
What does it mean? One thing that is a bit weird, though.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that people like about FF14. Okay, so here's what happens in FF14. Everyone's like, Lalafell, Grimmer. Right? That's what all the people who are a bit, nasty about it say. Anyone who plays the game is like, every Lalafell I've met is a horrible alcoholic little shit.
Yeah.
Now, Blizzard, could you please stop treating Chromie like Lady Moonberry?
Yeah, a little bit of
like,
that,
yes, Chromie, like, stop making small equals infantilized joke character. Because then if you want to use that character, Chronormu, the big-ass fucking dragon, it does, I think, degrade Chromie's character. And, it does feel like all soft things, happy, 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 forever, yay. Which, I just think makes WoW feel a bit toothless. Or a character like Chromie, because of how Chromie's been shown in the past, Chromie could be really strong when put into, like, really serious, moments. I just think they're a bit weak with how they've done Chromie.
I don't completely agree, but only because I think Chromie being like so super earnest actually works really well.
Okay.
Where she's really like
Saccharine.
Yeah.
Replace earnest with saccharine. I agree with the earnest. That's good. But it's just the overly saccharine stuff to me that's just like, ugh.
I think the saccharine stuff works, but only because it's in contrast to everyone being so stoically.
It's like, help, I am so glazed in this sweet sugar that it's osmosis all the water out of my body and now I'm dead.
Yeah, no, I actually like it because, like, I guess we'll actually skip the Iridikron bit and talk about that first, because clearly the more people are worried about the time stuff and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where it's like, here's like this bit, you can literally see this frame where she's hugging his leg. I think that's good.
Oh, on to the next
think that's
bit
fine. Yeah, just because there's a couple things we can do here. There's Iridikron.
What the fuck else is she gonna hug?
Well, yeah, but I think I think that works because it shows it's like, okay,
Chromie just floats up, gives him a big hug, floats down again.
Yeah, but like she's really quite happy to actually.
Oh yeah, no, that's
see them.
All
That's
great.
Yeah. But in comparison to Alexstrasza, who's like, which is a bit rude, but also
Unity.
Like she comes across as so aloof, not quite aloof, but like kind of distant, even though she's not characterized that way. The way everyone else talks around is like, Chromie's a breath of fresh air to me, because she feels like a person compared to everyone else who's like, oh, and they're feeling somewhere in me, I think. Chromie's like, I'm so happy, hello. Like, okay, that's sweet. Actually, right. I like it by contrast.
That I agree with, because the dragons are all planks of wood with the exception of Kaligos.
Yeah, and he's
just a sad boy.
He is a sad boy.
So to do the whole frame by frame here, I think then people are a little bit worried about the timeline, and this is certainly when you go onto the old birded website, mayhaps even on Blue Sky and Threads. I don't know, maybe they're having the same conversation over there too. But it does seem that people got real spooked by this. So here's what happens. Chromie is all just like, wahoo, I broke all the rules.
Except
a British police box full of Time Lords is going to come and arrest me.
Except she doesn't say that.
Shit, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the bit that's got people, because Chromie went and fucked with the timeline.
But did she is the question.
But did she? Who knows? Anyway, Chromie's very happy, gives big leg hug. Nozdormu's like, not everything. The clouds in my vision have parted, and I can breathe without doubt or despair. I feel alive again, thanks to you. And then immediately someone's like, oh, that's really cool that you can see more. What's coming up next? My vision is clouded.
Yeah.
Which is just some like real goofy writing, because I know the whole point is he went through a void tear. It's like beyond the regular vision of a Nozdormu, but it's so easy to clown in the dialogue.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, but I think to kind of get through a little bit of this, it's like, so I don't know if just because obviously spoilers, maybe people haven't done this yet or whatever, maybe they've seen it, but ultimately it's like, right, okay, here we go, everything's back to how it was, except solved. Because all of the clouds in his vision, the I can breathe without doubt or despair, I feel alive again. That's all. I am no longer about to become Murazond. Because that was the whole thing set up this expansion was everything is getting worse for him. Yeah. Worse and worse and worse and worse. Every time we talk to him, I can see less than before. It's like the moment is encroaching upon us. It is now. Now is the time.
It feels like it's on borrowed time.
Exactly. Now is the time that in this timeline, in the way things are supposed to go, because nothing can be done. Because that's what he said in the Feldrassus. He was saying to her, my fate is inevitable. And it was all leading up to this being the moment. But what we do in the dungeon, obviously with stopping Chrono Lord Deus from... Basically, the last fight is fighting Chrono Lord Deus, stopping him from turning Proto Nozdormu into Murazond. Kind of subverts the whole thing and changes it. And then everyone goes, job done, sweet. Turn back. And then that's so like all nothing. Says,
but what of Iridikron?
Mm-hmm.
And Chromie's like, we stopped the infinites, but Iridikron got to go free. Even though it's... Yeah, actually, we totally had Iridikron in the bag, but then I undid that so I could save him.
That's the part that frustrates me here, because there's a pretty good story here that none of the characters ever talk about, which is really, that's the part.
It's weird. It's like, you've created the story. Why haven't you told it?
Yeah, they did tell it, but they didn't tell it really upfront and obviously because they decided to do other things. So Iridikron escapes through a void tear. Galakon's wrestling with him. We'll go back and circle around the back because that's a much bigger topic, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It concerns the next expansion and stuff like that. But, you know, Void Gate, so that's interesting. His dark dealings have come to fruition, thereby confirming that the Void was what they were talking about when they said he made a deal. So he made a deal with the Infinites and the Void, which is, he's a fucking busy man, must get loads of emails. And then he feels like he's leaving this war to his kin, which is saying, let's not worry about him for a while. We need to sort out the other two. Which is obviously we're going to sort that stuff out, no problem. His hatred for the Titans all he cares about, so he doesn't care about his brethren. He's off and doing stuff. Nozdormu, now that you can see everything, where's he gone? Don't know, mate, sorry. Don't know. Busted, which is makes sense, but also isn't thought about, which is kind of my problem with all these cutscenes and dialogue stuff.
Yeah, but, I think as well, I've seen this screenshot go around, and it's just how weird and goofy the dragon's new models look.
A little bit, yeah.
Because he really looks... Nozdormu just looks high everywhere he goes this expansion.
There's something about that, and there's something about there's something about how the blue glow of his eyes shows out his eyeliner as well. Is kind of like, it's a cool touch of color, but it also is like, wait, what? What's going on?
So yeah, he says that Iridikron has passed beyond his sight, and all he sees now are burning embers.
Next patch.
Encroaching upon... And then
Alexstrasza
zoops in.
Because they know each other so well that she can also see the future. But yes, Mirthra must be warned. Because you go, oh my god! It's the tree. Farak is going to strike the vulnerable. And Chromie says, if you haven't been following, the world tree. As dangerous as he is. For now, we must leave Iridikron to his schemes. Don't worry about him. That plot line will resume later. Please pay attention to new plot line. Please, thank you.
Yes. So, I think one of the big questions, many big questions here, one of them has got to be,
we'll start
is Iridikron actually a multi-expansion character?
No.
That's okay, so I know what I think's going to happen, but I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it, because I think we also have to talk about the silhouette.
We'll talk about
that later.
Yeah, we'll talk now about time. Time stuff. So this is Iridikron. We're about him later, which I think is 10-3 because Ian said you'll know who the end boss is once you see the Vault Incarnates final, and it was Iridikron was the big bad guy.
Pretty surprising if 10-2 ended up being that. suffice to say.
Exactly. So this is them literally telling the player, pointing to them in the face and going, leave Eridicron to his schemes. That is for later. What we have to do now is whatever Frack and Vernoth are doing.
Yes.
And you go, sweet, sound, fantastic. The defense of Amir Drasil comes first. So that's our next thing, is Amir Drasil, which is the name of the world tree, by the way. Good thing we found out this way.
Yeah. That was Marithra's job. You know, Marithra, the character that you've got to build up as authentically being the leader of the Green Dragonflight. Why did we find out about this? As a piece of side knowledge and something that we know has now happened off-screen with no involvement for us or any other NPCs that we've seen in the Green Flight or, you know, the Night Elves or any of that. Just, oh yeah, by the way, it's called Amir Drasil. What? When that? What? Oh, don't worry. It's fine. We did it. We did it when you were dealing with Farak invasions. That's why we didn't notice them in any of the other dialogue we had.
Also, did Alex Draza get the name of the tree without knowing that Sarah was there? Did Mirthra say, oh, we've named the tree, by the way. Also, my mum's definitely not here, ha. Your sister that you love and was so sad about it, ha. But I'm sure that'll be addressed. But it's kind of awkward because this is all over the place. So trying to get this into one concise topic is pretty challenging. So what do we have here now is... the future is worth fighting for, which is trite garbage. Is this the end of the Infinites? And this is the part where you think, okay, well, is it the end of the Infinites? It seems that way, right? Because you go back up here and he says things such as, I have to keep going up. Jesus is long.
Nozdormu's lips are too big.
I feel alive. Yeah. I feel alive thanks to you.
Yeah.
I can breathe without doubt or despair. And that is everyone going, right, so he's not become Murazon? Sweet, sorted, fine, perfect, excellent. But that feels a bit weird because you've been building that story since Cataclysm. Mm-hmm. And also you addressed that story earlier in the expansion. And I'll just mute this. Yeah, it is muted. So, see this bit? This bit where I just literally missed the subs. She goes, he goes, I will trust you to do what needs to be done. And he meant, end time, he meant kill me. But what she goes is, I will do what you need me to do. I will find another way. And we have this shot. That's a pretty bad freeze frame. But, it's this determined close up to her face.
Yeah.
It's this determined, I will find a way to stop you from becoming Murazond. And then there is none. Time encompasses all possibilities. Who would say time encompasses all possibilities instead of time encompasses one possibility that we have to make sure happens?
Morchi.
No. Morchi's...
Oh, sad.
Morchi being...
And any infinite dragon.
Morchi being in the dungeon actually probably ruined it and confused a lot of people, even though she was cool. Because she's kind of weird. But anyway, this is all... the Infinites. The point of the Infinites is there's loads of possibilities, loads of timelines. We can fucking pick and choose whatever we want. That's also what the Void's been kind of doing. It's probabilities, how can we figure it out? Whereas the Light and the Titans are... one path, one line, do that. No options, nothing else. Nozdormu, you're going to die and you're going to become Murazon because you're a melt. You're going to have your head melted over being like Time Boy. It's game over for you. Deal with it because that's what we have ordained to the Titans. That's the true timeline, the good one. Chroma then goes, nah, I'm going to save you. Fuck it. It's not as obvious. It's not like it's literally said as that. But there you go. That's kind of it, where this is all kind of weird because that doesn't feel like it was in these cutscenes talked about or handled. Then you go a little bit further back into all of this like leveling stuff. And remember, well, that's a pretty good version there, right? Look at that. There's Chromie. And who's that framed as her mirror? Eternus, an infinite dragon. That's not Chromie because infinite Chromie is Morchi.
Yes.
And they also don't sound the same and etc. And then you go, okay, well, that's...
like, initially, one of our theories is that was future Chromie, and that theory's now truly dead.
Yeah.
Unless, we do time bullshit, which I'm going to assume we won't.
Yeah. So, sorted, right? There we go. And then we go forward and look at this. The same shot, except the other way around for reasons. It's literally, okay, well, there you go. Look, the Oathstone is restored right when a bronze dragon and an infinite dragon are looking at each other going, guess we're mates for now. Mm-hmm. That's pretty symbolic. That's pretty important. That means something. They didn't make this and have it meaningless. It means something that this is the whole point. So then we go a little bit further and we see, like, blah, blah. Eternus says, we will bring you to your ultimate fate. You cannot deny what is to come. And then, when we meet again, do not expect clemency for what has transpired today. Have we met Eternus again?
No. And
where's Eternus?
And this is the thing. A lot of people on Twitter were saying, like, oh no, Blizzard have said this is the end of the Infinite story stuff for now. To my knowledge, that is not what Ian said. Did Ian not say that, like, this is it for the Nozdormu Morazon thing, but it's not it for the Infinites?
I can't remember with something like that.
See, I was fairly sure that he quite clearly said there are more Infinite things going on, but this is dealing with the immediate Nozdormu thing. And then the bit that matters is if Chromie made that choice.
Yeah.
And that choice both subverts the expected dawn of the Infinite, is also the literal dawn of the Infinite, because I think whatever Chromie does here could be seen as a dawn of the Infinite in the future, and it also enables Iridikron's plans.
Yes.
So there's plenty going on. There's more Infinite stuff. Yeah. But then we got to talk about timelines, true timelines.